This is going to be a step by step process on how to apply for your first passport, your very first passport. This is for people who have never gone through the process of applying for a US passport. If you have already had a passport or if you currently have a passport, the process of applying is going to be different from this way of doing it for the first time. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the travel.state.gov website. It's the Department of State website, and this is what it looks like. And from the top, you're going to go right here. It says here, upper left, US passports. Click on that. It's going to take you to this page. And this is very simple as well. It just says, I need a passport. I'm an adult. We're doing the adult passport. If you are applying for a passport as a child under the age of 16, you're going to click on this and so on and so forth, all the different options. We're clicking on I'm an adult, and it's going to take you to this page, apply in person. Apply in person using the form DS11 if you respond yes to at least one of the following statements. I'm applying for my first US passport, and that's what we are doing. So the very first one fits what we are after. So we're going to go ahead and click on this form DS11, and that's going to open the DS11. And this is the US Department of State application for a US passport. So you should read all of these steps, but I've already read all this, so we're going to go ahead and scroll down to where you would start filling out this form. So right here, you're going to want to fill all of this in. You're going to want to check one of these boxes if you're applying for a US passport book, or you want a US passport card, or if you want both. I'm just applying for the US passport book and I'm getting the regular book. That's the cheapest way to get a passport. If you are getting the US passport card, that is not going to be accepted everywhere. And I don't believe they accept this if you are flying internationally. I believe you have to have a US passport book. I could be wrong about that, but I believe I read that somewhere. So you're going to want to check that, and then you're going to want to come down here and fill this out. Your name, your date of birth, your address. But then when you get to this part, it's going to say stop, continue to page 2. Do not sign the application until requested. Now, when you apply for a passport for the very first time, you are going to have to go to a place in person that accepts passport applications. That's usually a post office or a library. There are other places that also will do it. I'm going to a law library. They were the place that had the earliest appointment, and we will be doing that today. So this part you will fill out when you are at your appointment. So go ahead and skip past that. And then this you will continue to fill out at home. So your name, you're going to have to put in your parents' names, their date of births, their places of birth. So if you don't know this information, you might want to text or call your parents ahead of time and get that information. All of this is required. You're going to have to fill all this out. And then you get to the bottom and you do not do any of this. So leave this until you go to your appointment. So let's go back here to apply in person. So print this out, fill it out, have it ready. Don't fill out the places that they don't want you to fill out. We're going to come down here and this is the steps to apply. So we've already covered the filling out of the DS11. We're going to come here. Provide evidence of U.S. citizenship. So when you go to your appointment, you are going to need to bring with you your U.S. birth certificate if you have one. If you don't have those, these are the other items they will accept: consular report of birth abroad, certificate of naturalization, certificate of citizenship. So you're going to need one of those documents to bring. You're also going to need to bring a photocopy of U.S. citizenship evidence, which they will do. They are going to do these copies at my appointment, but you have to bring the originals. So if you do make photocopies, keep in mind that don't just take the photocopies in. You have to take the original document. the original birth certificate. And you're also going to need to bring your ID, a valid or expired undamaged US passport book or passport card. That's if you already have a passport. That doesn't apply to us. We don't have a passport yet. We're getting this for the first time. You're going to have to bring your in-state fully valid driver's license. So that's what most people are going to take to this appointment: their birth certificate and their driver's license. Those are the two documents that you need. So let's click on this passport facility. So we're going to find a place to have our passport application done, and we're going to make sure that it has photo on site so that we can just have everything done at one spot. And then we're going to go here and you're going to type in your zip code. So we're going to type in the zip code here, and we check the box that said photo on site. And here are all the places where you can go and apply for your passport. And these places also take photo when you go there. So let's go ahead and click on the very first one, the Sacramento County Public Law Library. So let's go ahead and take this website and go there. And each of these agencies are going to be different. This is the Sacramento County Public Law Library website for passports. Appointment is required. So here we're going to schedule your appointment. I'm going to walk you through this process as well and how to search for an appointment. So here we're going to click on one person who is applying. The first available time slot is in 4 days on July 17th, 2023. Okay. Here is the next available time slot for an appointment. So you're going to go through the whole process of booking this and filling out all this form. I have an appointment for today, so I will not be going through this process. But if you do, let's go ahead and see, for instance, if we do this through the USPS. So here we'll go to the USPS. It's going to be very similar. Now we're on the USPS website. We're going to go to new passport only, one adult, no minors. You can search for your appointments by location or by date. You can type in the city in which you are wanting to apply at, the radius, passport photo locations. We'll check that. So we got to do a whole nother search on this website. And here are the locations, the postal locations that pop up. And we'll just go ahead and click on this one. And then you're going to see here their business hours. You're going to go here. And the next time they have for a passport appointment isn't till the 10th of August. So what I did find is that with the post office, they get booked up long time in advance. So that is why I did not go with the post office. You can see they have no appointments for today. They don't have anything until the 10th of August. But if you were to go ahead and pick that, you'd have to fill out all this stuff, review the appointment, all that. So that is out of the way. That is how you start this process. So what you are going to need as well to bring with you to this appointment is a blank check or a money order. You are not going to want to write anything on this. You're not going to want to fill out the amount. They're going to tell you what to put at the appointment. But a check needs to be made out to the Department of State and that needs to be mailed in with your application. So the documents you're going to need is the DS-11, which is this, and you're going to want to fill out everything that it says to fill out. And then you're going to need your original birth certificate. Well, you're going to need your birth certificate. It can be a copy, but it has to be from the county you were born in. And then if you don't have that, you're going to have to have one of those other documents. So we have the birth certificate. You're also going to need your ID, your driver's, which would be your driver's license. or just your regular ID. It's going to need to be valid. It cannot be expired. So DS11, birth certificate, the driver's license, and a blank check. Those are all the documents you're going to need to be taking to your appointment. Make sure you have all these documents before you go, because if you are missing one of them, you will not be able to apply for your passport. So the next thing you will see is when we arrive at our appointment. So we're here at the location, and we're going to go inside and get this passport application submitted. I have my documents, the DS11 form, and my birth certificate, and my driver's license, and a blank check. So let's go ahead and go inside and take care of this. So we're waiting in the library now. This is the document.
I'm gonna say I would go back to
And we're just waiting for our name to get called.
right, so then here it's like, and that's fine, but then it's the trustee or a successor trustee.
There's the library. There's the county library. So here is what they gave us after our appointment was finished. And the total for the passport was $259.09. Now, the check that I told you to take, the blank check, that check gets made out to the U.S. Department of State. That is where the bulk of the money went. $209.09 went to the Department of State. There's another $50 fee right here. You can see that. There's another $50 fee for the library, for the photos, and for their services in helping finish the application. They send it off as well. So here's the paper, and this is just giving you instructions on how to look up the status of your passport. So there's a website right there. It says it takes 2 weeks for your application to get into the system. Processing times begin the day your application is received at a passport agency. The expedited takes 7 to 9 weeks, approximately 8 to 10 weeks from today. So that is why I paid more money. The standard, I believe, was $160 or $170, but then adding the $50 that you would pay. So it wasn't a huge difference between the standard and the expedited, and it does speed it up by 2 to 3 weeks. That just says the $50. That's what's paid to the library. And then if we flip it over, this just says when your payment is processed, your application has reached the intake facility. It may take up to 2 weeks from the day you apply until your application status is in process. And then here it says, we will send your supporting documents such as birth certificates and previous passports in a separate mailing that may not arrive for up to 8 weeks after you receive your new passports. That's something I wanted to tell you, is that they actually take your original birth certificate. They make a copy, but they actually send the original one into the State Department as well. So if you need that for any other activity or any other documents, be aware they send that to the State Department. So you're not going to get that back for even longer. You'll get the passport before you get the birth certificate back. So all in all, $259.09. It was very fast. It was a very fast process. It was probably only about 15 minutes in total. and they were very nice at the front desk. When I got back to the room, the lady seemed to be in a hurry. I'm guessing because they schedule these appointments back to back, and she's trying to stay on schedule. The first thing they did was just bring me in, and then they took the photo right away. They take one photo and they tell you not to smile. And then they review your documents. They have you make out the check to the State Department, and they make the copies of your driver's license and your birth certificate. And then they ask you if you swear that the information is as correct to your knowledge as possible. You say yes, and then they have you sign the area of the DS-11 that you do not fill out at home, the part that says do not fill this out until you're at your appointment. So then they have you sign that, and that's it. And then you pay, you write the check, and then I just used a debit card to pay the $50 to the library, and I was in and out of there. Obviously, it's gonna depend. She said these times here, the 7 to 9 weeks, is approximate. So this is not. That may not be the actual time that it takes. So be aware of that. It's probably just best to get this done before you have any plans to travel internationally.